Poland's presidency of the EU is focused on one key aspect: security. For example, the current Polish government is a major supporter of the East Shield Initiative, a €2.3 billion project to fortify its northern and eastern borders with Russia and Belarus. This is a barrier consisting of a wall, a razor wire, dragon's teeth, minefield, and moats to protect EU territory from eastern aggression. Similar concerns have prompted the Baltic states, Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia, to announce a Baltic defense line that will integrate with Poland's Eastern Shield. The goal? To create a unified defense line capable of fending off Russian aggression. Poland already dedicates a hefty 4% of its GDP to defense, the highest in Europe, and is an adamant supporter of Ukraine. And now, the expectation is clear. Poland wants the EU to step up and contribute to its ambitious defense plans.
We need to find more common thinking on defense spending. So pretty much more money about protection of the borders, external borders of the EU, because either we will have safe external borders or the borders within Europe will reappear, and about common purchasing of ammunition and other military equipment, because it simply makes sense.
In simpler terms, Poland is calling for bigger military budgets and a stronger defense industry to address critical capability gaps. But they're not stopping there. The Polish presidency is also pushing for a bold conversation on how to fund EU defense, including the idea of joint borrowing through EU defense bonds, a game changer that is extremely divisive among EU member states. Security Europe is Poland's slogan for its 6-month presidency of the EU. Their ambitious agenda is themed around security in all of its dimensions: defense, border protection, disinformation and foreign interference, security and freedom of business, energy transition, competitive agriculture, and health security. But wait, isn't Ursula von der Leyen the EU president? Well, you're absolutely right, but it wouldn't be the EU if things weren't a little more complicated. Believe it or not, the EU has not one, not two, but 4 presidents. Yes, 4. First up, we've got the president of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen. Think of her as the EU CEO. Then there's the president of the European Parliament, Roberta Metsola, kind of like the Speaker of the House, but with more EU flair. Next, the president of the European Council, Antonio Costa. He's the guy coordinating meetings of national leaders. And finally, brace yourself, because the president of the Council of the EU isn't even a person, it's a country. And right now, that's Poland. Confused yet? Let's break it down. The Council of the EU is one of the EU's 2 legislative chambers, which is fancy talk for where lawmaking happens. And what makes it unique is that the presidency rotates every 6 months between EU member states, from January the 1st to June the 30th. And now it's Poland's turn to set the agenda. Before Poland, Hungary held the presidency, and next up it will be Denmark. So what else can we expect from Poland? Poland is doubling down on managing migration, with a strong focus on reducing irregular migration and addressing how it's being used as a hybrid threat, like when Belarus weaponized migration by funnelizing migrants to Poland's borders to create political pressure. Poland and neighboring countries have already secured €170 million from the EU to fortify their borders against such tactics. They'll also lead discussions on the effectiveness of the EU's migration policies, including deportations and partnerships with third countries to process asylum requests. Poland also has plans for energy, as they are pushing for a complete withdrawal from Russian energy imports while tackling soaring energy prices. They plan to revise the EU's energy security framework by improving physical and cyber protection of energy infrastructure, and also creating fair opportunities for all clean energy sources to thrive across the EU. As for agriculture, Poland wants to start reforming the Common Agricultural Policy, in short, CAP. The CAP is a cornerstone of EU support for farmers and rural development, costing the EU around €387 billion over 7 years, which is about 31% of the total budget. Poland aims to reshape the CAP to accommodate EU enlargement, like Ukraine and Moldova, and reduce strict controls on farmers. Environmental protection needs to be encouraged, not enforced, Poland says. Now, while these are the priorities, Poland also has the task of dealing with external factors. For example, transatlantic trade tensions are heating up, as Trump proposes incoming trade tariffs of 10 to 20%. This will be a huge test of EU unity, especially with Germany and France, its two biggest economies, both grappling with political turmoil at home. The EU will need to be ready to retaliate. And since Trump has a track record of bypassing the EU Commission to deal directly with individual countries, Poland's Tusk could find himself in the prime position to navigate these challenges. And then there's Ukraine. Poland will need to manage a new sanctions package, along with coordinating financial and military support for its war-torn neighbor. But perhaps the most delicate task, dealing with Trump once again, and his proposed peace plan that he claims could be enforced in just one day. So yes, Poland's 6-month presidency comes with sky-high expectations. The man even said so himself.
Frankly speaking, the expectations are really high, especially after Hungarian presidency. And I'm not sure that I am able to fulfill all these expectations. Not easy.
So, can Poland be successful? Some argue that domestic pressures will constrain Poland in its presidency, as Tusk's party is vying for the Polish presidency election in May this year. Therefore, Poland may put national interests before European ones, like on migration, trade, energy, or climate protection. Nonetheless, many view Poland as a significant upgrade from Hungary under Orban, who embarked on a renegade diplomatic mission to meet with Putin and Xi Jinping, acting almost like a self-declared president of Europe. Let us know what you think of the priorities of the Polish presidency and whether you think they will achieve their goals. And don't forget to subscribe for more insights and like the video if you enjoyed it. To support us further, consider joining us on Patreon. Every contribution helps us so much to bring you more EU-related content. Thanks to our presidents, Jan, Sjoukje, Kristin, Peter, AGVD, and BJ. Until next time.